Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we are back. We are live, Power of the BI live, and today we are going to be doing a walkthrough of how to create a Power BI report, more so how to create a chart. And the reason why I'm going to be going through the chart in specific is because yours truly has actually created an app, an AI app, to where for those of you guys that have had questions, struggles, how are you going to create a chart? You don't even know where to, and you don't even know where to place the items on the x-axis or the y-axis and things like that. I've created an app just for you. Actually, it's not just for you. It's actually for anybody out there that's using Power BI. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about working smarter, not harder, and being efficient. And basically, this app is going to allow you to be able to put in your columns, put in your data type of your columns, and at the end of the day, it's going to spit out in seconds what the where the item should go, whether it should be on the x-axis, the y-axis, and even giving you some built-in measures. So if some of you guys are having trouble with building measures, that's okay too. But because we're gonna be giving you measures. But here's the deal: this app is only going to be available to those within my mentorship. This app is only going to be available to those within my mentorship. It's a proprietary app. Code is mine. I'm not giving it away. Well, let me back up. Everything is for sale. Everything is for sale. But with that said, it is a proprietary app, so it's not going to be something you're going to be able to go out there and YouTube it. You're not going to be able to go out there and Google it. It's only right here at Power of the BI. But with that said, we're going to get started here because we're not going to spend all day here. I know we had some technical difficulties. We lost about 15 minutes trying to get things squared away. My apologies for that. How can you be in tech and have technical difficulties? Hey, things happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to move right along into the webinar, and go just some quick things as far as what Power BI is, what Power BI does, and who Power BI can benefit, and then we'll get into building out a report depending on time, and we'll talk about more specifically the chart, the clustered column chart in specific, and the app that we have. That's built in for our for those of you guys that are in the mentorship. So what I want to welcome those that are chiming in from Instagram and from over on LinkedIn as well. We've got several phones set up so that they can follow along with us here within the webinar. So with that said, you guys over at LinkedIn and over at Instagram, welcome on. My apologies, I don't have anyone that's here to pick up your questions. If you have questions, because, hey, I'm a one-man show, baby. I'm a one-man show. It's what I do. But if you do have questions, you can leave me a comment, and I will get back to you, no doubt. If you want to get in on the next webinar, all you have to do is, I believe, comment, learn, and you should receive a link. And I think even in the Instagram profile and in the LinkedIn profile, there's a link where you can go and it's not the website link. It's two links on there. There's the website link, and then there's the other link. The other link is the link to the webinar. So you can go there and you can register for the webinar there as well. We do these webinars once a week. So you're not missing out on anything, but you are live. Trust me, please believe you are live. And again, someone just hit me on Zoom and say, hey, we don't spend another 2 minutes introducing Instagram and LinkedIn, and we need to get busy. So you are absolutely correct. So here's the deal. For those that don't know, my name is Tearod Robertson. I am the founder of Power of the BI, Power of the BI. I am founder of the Power of the BI online web course. And basically what I do is I make learning tech easy so you can make 6 figures elementary or something like that. I think that, I don't know. I got a little hook, something like that. I don't know. It's one of those, I make learning tech elementary so you can make 6 figures easy. That's what it really is. Anyway, so here in the Power of the BI, as we get started, Power BI creating impactful Power BI reports. So for those that don't know, Power BI, BI is business intelligence, just like AI is artificial intelligence. BI is business intelligence. And if you can imagine what AI has done for the world as a whole over the past few years, you can only imagine what BI is going to be doing here in coming weeks, coming months, and I'm not going to say coming years. I mean, we're talking about short time span. BI is not brand new. It has been around for a minute, just as AI has been around for a minute. But now we are working with some things where we are integrating AI and BI. So, you know, if you're using ChatGPT for your personal, imagine what ChatGPT is going to be able to do for BI, which is make companies trillions of dollars and make individuals millions of dollars that normally would not have the access to the resources in order to do so. Anyway, BI, business intelligence, at the end of the day, it's data. At the end of the day, it's data, but more so from an end user standpoint, it is visualizing data. So basically, you are able to visualize data using charts, graphs, gauges, and things like that. You know, if you've had 5th grade math, or if you've had a 5th grader recently, you know what a chart, a graph, or column charts, bar charts, graphs, gauges, and things like that look like. At the end of the day, now what we're doing is we're using those elementary tools to build business tools so that we can help businesses grow, help managers understand what's going on in the business, help C-level, C-suite executives understand what's going on inside the business, and also to help industries even grow. At the end of the day, I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Business intelligence is at the end of the day visualizing data, dashboards. If you know what a dashboard is, that's pretty much what it is. Now, just real quick with some housekeeping, because I want to make sure that I am not overselling any of you guys that have not heard me speak before. If you haven't been in if you're not one of the members of my course or a mentee of mine, I want you to understand Power BI is a Microsoft tool. Power BI is a Microsoft tool, but this course is not sponsored by Microsoft. I do not work for Microsoft. I do own stock, but I don't know if I specifically own stock in Microsoft. But if I do, that is what it is. I'm not going to say that I won't partner with Microsoft anytime in the future if they came to me or if someone put me in a position. But what I'm telling you right now is I do not work for Microsoft. This is not a Microsoft webinar. This is not a Microsoft course to where I am trying to get anyone sold or built in on Microsoft. There are several different tools to use in business intelligence. Power BI, which is a Microsoft tool, is my tool of choice. I've worked with several other tools, but Power BI is my tool of choice. So the things that I say in regards to Power BI are my own. They're my thoughts and they're my own. They're not anyone else's, and definitely not those of Microsoft's. So I'm going to keep moving from that point. Let's share a testimonial that I have from one of my mentees, and I'm going to try to use my see if I can see here. And as I figured, sound was going to be an issue there. So we are not going to, I've got to figure out how to be able to make that work in future presentations, because I think that is, I think that is good for us. But you know what? Let's do this. I am going to try to do this a different way, because this is a very important piece of my presentation when it comes to who we are and what we do. So let's see if I can pull this up. And I'm gonna go to, all I'm doing here now is just going over to my YouTube channel, which is Power of the BI. and I am going to view the channel, and that is not going to work either. That's okay. That's okay. So for those that are interested, I will send that out to you via, if you're interested in the testimonial. Well, actually, it's actually on the website. You can go to the website, powerofthebi.com. Powerofthebi.com, you go to the website, check it out. So, this is me. Actually, it's not me. That's AI me. And somebody said, hey, that's not you. That ain't even AI you. When you probably right. Actually, I actually created this AI image probably about 3 months ago. And of course, AI has really taken a turn for the better when it comes to creating AI images. But this is what was returned to me when I created my AI image some time ago, probably about 3 months ago. But like I said before, AI has really, really, moved and zoomed. No pun intended for those on Zoom, on Zoom. But anyway, this is me. Just a little bit about myself. I am Tearod Robertson. Again, I am owner, founder, and creator of powerofthebi.com, an online course where I teach individuals Power BI. Don't necessarily guarantee you a job, but if you follow what I'm giving you, what I'm teaching, I do believe you will be in position for a six-figure salary within 16 weeks. Power of the BI is a 16-week course. You can complete this course in 8 weeks. I did not have this course when I was coming through to learn Power BI, but the things that I did learn, the things that the resources that I use in order to learn Power BI, I've put those types of resources into a package, and now I call it Power of the BI. Again, online course to teach you Power of BI. Someone asked me, what's the pay range? What's the pay rate for a Power BI developer? On average, it's about $110,000 to $112,000. I've had some students that came in started out making, I think, $85,000. I had a couple of students, actually not a few, but a couple of students, actually 2 students that started out making $120,000, one at $120,000 and one at $130,000. I don't necessarily push for the higher pay starting right out in Power BI because the expectations will be a lot more for you. However, if you feel as if you can handle the expectations of someone of those higher expectations, that's fine. But about $110,000 to $112,000 a year is the average pay of a Power BI developer. And I just realized that I am not on the screen, so I'm just going to jump on the screen here real quick. So now I am on the screen up in the top right corner. It's crazy. But anyway, so I am a 7-time Microsoft seven-time Microsoft certified person, which simply means I do have a certification in Power BI. I've got a certification in Azure, in AI as an AI associate, data engineer, several different things. But at the end of the day, a Power BI developer is the one that we are most concerned about here because we're talking about Power BI. I will tell you right now, you do not have to be certified to hit those ranges, those pay ranges as a Power BI developer. The skill set is so in demand that 1, you do not have to have a college degree for it. 2, you do not have to have a certification for it. Now, a college degree and or a certification, it works. It puts icing on the cake. But at the end of the day, this is one high-tech skill position that you do not have to have a college degree for, and you do not have to have a certification for it. You just need to be able to perform the work. And that's what I do. I teach you how to create Power BI reports to a level to where you can demand that pay rate that you're looking for. Now, in addition to that, I am a published author. I've got a book out there. One of my books, I have several books, but one book out there is called The Six-Figure Cheat Code, Making Money in Tech. Six-Figure Cheat Code, Making Money in Tech is out there on Amazon. It was in several other places, but I pulled it off from a couple of different sites just because personal reasons, but it is out there on Amazon. It's still on Amazon. It's called The Six-Figure Cheat Code, Making Money in Tech, and it's available as an ebook, and it's also available as a paperback book. Nope, it's not available as a hardback book, but it is available as an ebook, and it's available as a paperback. The reason why I put this book out there is because many of my students, when they were coming through, they didn't really realize, they really didn't want to believe that they had the skill sets that really afforded them the ability to go out there and say, hey, I want this six-figure opportunity, or be able to demand the type of money that they could demand within an interview and negotiating salaries. And what I wanted to do is give them some idea of this is what it really looks like in order to really make money in tech. You do have the skill set, right? You do have the skill set, and these are the things that you need to do in order to feel good about you being able to go out there and demand that money, right? The biggest thing is the imposter syndrome. The biggest thing is imposter syndrome. And what I mean by imposter syndrome is really having the feeling that you're really not either good enough or you're not educated enough in order to go into a tech field and say, hey, you know, I want $100,000 plus. And what I'm telling you is, when you come out of this course, you will be, your knowledge base will be to the point to where you can demand it. You just got to be able to feel as if you really do you really do have it yourself, and not necessarily how somebody else feels about you. So imposter syndrome is definitely something that I cover in my book, The Six-Figure Cheat Code, Making Money in Tech. If you haven't already, go over to Amazon. Please do so. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. Please go over to Amazon, pick up my book, Six-Figure Cheat Code, Making Money in Tech. And definitely those of you guys that are attending the webinar, it's not necessarily a prerequisite, but you know that, you know, the conversation that we have off camera is a lot about questions that come up and that are answered within the Six-Figure Cheat Code. And I do make references back to the Six-Figure Cheat Code, Making Money in Tech. So if you're looking to come to the webinar here now or in the very near future, I do recommend you go out there and you pick the book up, the Six-Figure Cheat Code. And if you don't plan to come to the webinar, pick up the book for me. I mean, and leave a review. Pick up the book and leave me a review. Don't just leave me any kind of review. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps me out. Not necessarily financially, but well, it does help me out financially. But you know, as a published author on Amazon and having 5-star reviews, it does wonders for you when you're ready to publish another book. Anyway, I digress. I am going to move on because I think you guys realize right now that I am a published author and I have a book out there called The Six-Figure Cheat Code, Making Money in Tech. Why Power BI? Power BI is a data visualization game changer, right? It's a data visualization game changer. Back in the day, I'm going to really date myself at this point, but back in the day, we used to use Excel as our primary form of data visualization when it came to creating reports, and we would have columns and rows and things like that, and we would build column charts and bar charts, and we really thought that thing was fancy when we built out built an Excel report back in the day with columns and with column charts and bar charts and histograms and things like that. Power BI is a game changer. Not only is it a six-figure game changer, it is a corporate game changer when it comes to a company really being able to identify what's going on within their business, within their the segments of their business. Because again, Power BI is a data visualization tool, and basically every visual within a Power BI report, is built, well, it's built one visual at a time, but every visual is a story. It's telling a story about a particular situation within the company. Every visual tells a story. So at the end of the day, what Power BI is a storytelling machine when it comes to identifying and talking about what is going on within a company, utilizing what does the data say. And I have a mentor that's not necessarily, probably doesn't even know he's a mentor, but he's not necessarily in the data game, but he's in another industry. But one of his sayings that he says all the time is that I think it's men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Some to that effect. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't, or women lie, men lie. I don't know, something like that. But at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. The numbers tell the truth. and the numbers say what it is, unless you got somebody that's crooked out there. But at the end of the day, you know, we're not talking about working with anyone that's crooked or doing anything crooked. So everybody is fair and honest. So that's what Power BI does. Power BI allows you to be able to get a true sense of the story when it comes to the organization. Meeting the faces of Power BI. So just as I had a testimonial initially in the initial slide, but we weren't able to hear it. I've got students that have taken Power BI to different levels. Again, like I said before, I have students that have made $85,000 in their first salary, $120,000 to $130,000 in their first job, and I've got students that have taken this thing corporate, and they've created companies, and they've gone out and they've started building out contracts. We're getting contracts to do Power BI for companies. So this thing could really, you know, just depending on what you want to do. If you want a position, a job that's going to pay you 6 figures, Power BI can give you that. And if you want a job that can get you, that you can go out and you can negotiate and you can win $1 million contracts, multi-million-dollar contracts actually, you can do that as well. Now, what do you do with Power BI? What do you do with the data? So you get all this data and you don't know what to do with the data. Well, you do know what to do with the data. You clean the data initially. The data needs to be it needs to be cleaned, prepared, and then transformed. And what does that mean? I'm pretty sure you've already heard you've heard several times, or many times, you know, data or garbage in, garbage out. So data is only as good as the data. The data you have is only as good as the data you receive, right? So you can only put out a report as good as the data that you have received. And at the end of the day, just because you receive bad data does not mean that you can throw your hands up and say, hey, you know, I got bad data, I'm not going to do anything with it. No, you've got to clean the data. You've got to massage it and make it be what the person that is paying you that money is requiring for it to be, or requesting for it to be. At the end of the day, for instance, you may get data, and let's just take a particular column. You may have a column that has states in it, and the states you know, from A to Z, or however many, whatever the letters are in the states, that categorically force that order states by alphabet. But some of the states may be misspelled, and you know, you may have to go inside the data and make corrections to the states and correct the spellings. You may have a column that has all the states in it, but you may have been requested to only show the abbreviations of the states. So you've got to create a column using those states and create another column and say, hey, you know, give me the abbreviations of these states, as opposed to having the column with the states in it. You may have a column with numbers in it, and it may be 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 5, 3, 7, 6, 7, 8, 0, 9, 10, 11. Well, what does that mean? That means that the numbers are either going to be double-digit numbers or single-digit numbers. Well, it sounds like they want double-digit numbers because they got some starting at 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, but then they got 4, 5, 6. But then when you get to 19, 20, it's going to be double-digit numbers. So either you're going to add a 0 to all the single-digit numbers, or you're going to take the 0 off of all the single-digit numbers. Again, that's a simple way of what I say when we clean the data. We've got to make the data look like we want the data to be. And then we say we prepare the data. Pretty much cleaning and preparing is somewhat of the same thing. And transforming it is, you know, the definition that I use or the example that I use when we took the state name and then we abbreviated using the state abbreviation. So those are some of the things we do with data when we receive the data. Then when you design the data, we design dashboards. I say we design dashboards. Many times we often use dashboards and reports interchangeably. Actually, dashboards and reports are not the same. A report is something that you create, and a dashboard is something that you publish, and then you create dashboards based off of what you publish. That's a whole nother conversation. At the end of the day, just understand that reports and dashboards could be used interchangeably, but you know, we're not going to use them interchangeably, but we may. I say that tongue in cheek, we may. Anyway, but when we create designs, we want our designs to be as professional as possible. What I like to tell my students is when we create a report, we want that report to look like it is a website. We want someone that has no idea of what Power BI is that they're looking at this as a website or a dashboard out on the internet, and it looks super, super professional. That's the end goal of how we want to create our dashboards and our reports. As I said before, Power BI, we're telling stories. Power BI, we're telling stories. We're using the visuals to tell the story. Each individual visual, we may have 6 visuals on a report. We may have 16 visuals on a report, but each visual tells part of a story. And that's what, at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. We want to be able to understand what the data is and then tell the story within the Power BI report. Power BI features to amplify and impact AI insights, real-time data, and mobile access. At the end of the day, we can use our mobile devices to access Power BI reports. I'm going to say that we're not going to do any designing on a mobile device. When it comes to actually creating Power BI reports, it's super simple. All you have to do is go over to, I don't remember the exact the exact URL, but if you go to Google and you put in Power BI Desktop, go to Google, put in Power BI Desktop, you can then download the Power BI Desktop for your PC, and you will be able to start creating Power BI reports right then. Unlike many of the other Microsoft products that you have to buy, Power BI Desktop is totally free. Now, the reason I don't know why it's totally free. I'm not going to speculate, but it's totally free to download Power BI Desktop. Now, in many cases, companies that pay for Power BI, they could be paying $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month for their Power BI developers to access Power BI within their organizations. But in order for you to design a report, in order for you to practice reports, in order for you to create Power BI reports from your home, from your office, you can just download, go to Google, go to Power BI Desktop, and you can download Power BI Desktop straight to your computer, and you can go to work, start designing right then and right there. Now, I say all that to say, if you want to design, if you want to download Power BI Desktop, as of this video, you can only do that with a PC. You cannot, I don't like using cannot, you are not able to download Power BI Desktop successfully on a Mac or another type of operating system. Only a PC, only a PC. So if you're looking to get into the Power BI development, you will need a PC. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into the PCs. I've got some videos out there talking about PCs. Not a whole lot, but you know, if you're interested. But at the end of the day, it's a PC. It's only going to work on a PC. And I'll leave that there. I don't want to get too deep into the technical specifications. If you want to know all the text and specifications of what the PC is, and trust me, it doesn't have to be some super high-end PC. I've got one PC I spent $300 on, and another one I spent $600 on. So you don't have to have a high-end PC in order for Power BI Desktop to be effective and efficient. But you can Google what the specifications are, and then you can go buy your PC based on the specifications. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Best practice: clean, modern, and inclusive design. Again, this is going back to design. When we create designs, when my students create designs, when I create designs in Power BI, it's all about having the most professional presentation possible. You do not have to be a web developer, but you know, I would say, you know, do some research. Look at some websites. If you never looked at a website before, look at some websites, and you want your presentation to be just as sweet and just as fluid as a website is today. But again, that is something that we do go over in Power of the BI, so that you do not forget that professionalism and the presentation is the most key piece. Here's another success spotlight: Mercy Dennis. Mercy is not her real name, but Mercy is a real person. Mercy is a person that did go out and she took the course. She had no knowledge of Power BI prior to joining my course, but once she joined the course and she finished the course, and I think, well, I know the course is built to be a 16-week course. It actually took her 20 weeks to complete the course because she had some other things going on. Life did happen, and she ended up not finding or getting a job, she did not get a six-figure job within 2 months, which was the time period that she gave herself. So what she did was she went out and she bidded on one of the city contracts for a Power BI company. She won the contract, and the contract was a huge success. I'm not going to get too deep into her business, but it was a huge success. So just understand that it's not just about getting a job. If you're interested in some entrepreneurship opportunities, Power BI is there, and that for you could be there, and that for you as well. Your Power BI journey could start now. It could start now, but it cannot start today with, you're not able to start today in Power of the BI, but we can start you here in the future. And the reason why we're not able to start you today is because the current course is totally full. The current course is totally full. I try not to take more than 30 people, 30 students within a current cohort, and I actually ended up taking 32 because I had 2 that ended up signing up at the same time. But we will be starting another course here in 6 weeks. So if you are interested, you can do a couple of things. I do not have the landing page out there, but you can. One, you can leave the comment join. You can comment join on the latest video that we have out there on Instagram, or for those that are on the webinar, you can just, those out there that are on the webinar, you have my information. So just send me, you know what, let's do this. For those that are out there on the webinar right now and you're interested, you can just come and join as well. Come and join in here, and the video is being saved. So I'll go back in and I will get you that landing page link as well. So for those that are out there on Instagram and on LinkedIn, you can comment, join. And for those that are in the webinar that are not current mentees, you can comment, join as well. Again, we will not be able to get you in on the current cohort because the current cohort is full, but we will be opening back up another session in 6 weeks. So with that, that is what the BI journey could look like. I am now going to go into the Power BI report, and this is an actual report. For those of you guys that have not already, you can go over to my YouTube channel, Power of the BI. You can go to my YouTube channel, and I actually built this website. I mean, not this website, but I actually built this report from scratch in within one of the sessions. And this is not a Ford. This is not an actual Ford Motor Company, Ford Automotive. This is not one of their reports. I don't think I've done any work for Ford. I may have as a contractor. I'm not sure. I don't remember. So I'll just put that out there. But this is not an this is not an actual report for Ford. Ford does not I'm not gonna say endorse, but they are not paying me to give this demonstration. I actually just created I created the data of an automobile company similar to Ford. Ford is a company that I chose to use just to show you how to bring the logo in, but we're not even going to get into that in this particular video here. We are only talking about here, which is the clustered column chart. So all of these different visuals, you see, all of these are individual visuals. They're built out one visual at a time. My thing is to show you how to build one visual. If I can show you how to build one visual, building out the rest is not an issue. And then it's just going to be a matter of how to create a productive Power BI report effective and efficiently. So I am going to come back over to another page that I've used before. And as you see, this is just the clustered column chart that I used, that I created before. These are all just individual reports. What I'm going to do here is I am going to delete all of these. I'm going to delete these 3, I think. And basically what I'm showing you here is a report that we created the other day in another webinar. And basically it's just the cluster column chart. It's just a cluster column chart. And the cluster column chart is built with having an x-axis, having data on the x-axis, and having data on the y-axis. And the data that's here on the x-axis is the dealer ID, which is coming from this transactions table. And we took dealer ID and we brought it over to the x-axis, and simply that's what we have here. And we have, it's a little small for me. Let me see what I think that's sales. Yeah, sale price. And we place sale price on the y-axis. Again, this is just the table that we already have here. I'm gonna just show you just how easy it is. I'm gonna bring dealer ID to the x-axis and sales price to the y-axis, and we get our clustered column chart. It is just that simple. Now, probably the toughest thing when creating a cluster column chart is knowing where to place what on, whether it's going to be on the x-axis or the y-axis. And that is something else that I brought up before that I am going to show you here, that is currently only available to those in my mentorship, only my mentors. And basically here it is. It is it's an AI tool that I created to where I can place columns here, and I can just click generate report, and it gives me the type of visual that I'm going to use. It gives me a measure, which is a programming code, a DAX programming code that's only used. Well, I'm not gonna say only used, but it's a DAX programming code that's used for Power BI. It's not total. DAX measures are used in a couple of, I know at least one other program. What I'm gonna do is I want to show you another app that I created that's only for a chart, because I don't want to confuse you. But as you can tell here, as I said before, we brought dealer ID into the x-axis, and we brought sales, I think it was sales price. That sales price? Hold on, can't see. Oh, it's model year, should be sale price. So I'm gonna make that change. It's not what I wanna do. I'm gonna make that change with you in real time so that it doesn't just happen. So I've got model year. The sales price should actually be what we choose. Yeah, that should be sales price. So basically, what we did was we have the column, and then we have a table, and then we have the column that we want to use. The column we're placing on the x-axis is dealer ID. The column that we're placing on the y-axis is sales price. Now, what I am going to show you is the app that I created for a chart. So basically, let's just say you had any chart. It didn't matter what chart you had. Say you received a chart on the job, you were brand new, you didn't know what you were going to use, and let's say you had a choice on the column in the table. You had dealer ID. In dealer ID, the data type is going to be a string, so we're going to say add that column. Then we're going to say we have sales price. And sales price is going to be a number, so we're going to add that column. Then we're going to say generate me some suggestions. Generate me some chart suggestions.